The exact moment. The avoidant realizes they lost the right one forever. You're standing in your kitchen at 11 p.m. The lights are dim. You just got home from a long day, and for the first time in months, your phone isn't in your hand. You're not waiting for her text. You're not checking to see if she viewed your story. You're not crafting some clever response in your head. You're just here, pouring a glass of water, breathing normal, living your actual life. And somewhere across town, she just picked up her phone for the third time tonight, opened your chat, stared at it, put it back down. She doesn't know why she keeps doing it, but you do, because something just shifted, and she can feel it. Your brain used to spin like a washing machine. Why doesn't she text back? Did I do something wrong? Was I too much again? Why does it always end up like this? But tonight, those questions are gone. And in their place, silence. Real silence. The kind that doesn't feel empty, but full. Here's the truth, bro. The avoidant doesn't realize they lost you when you scream, when you beg, or when you send the long paragraph at 2 a.m. They realize it in a moment so quiet, so subtle, so unexpected, that it hits them harder than any breakup ever could. You're not crazy for wondering if she'll ever feel what you felt. You're not weak for hoping she finally sees it. Most guys spend years waiting for that moment and never understand the exact mechanics of when and why it actually happens. And nobody ever explains it clearly. By the end of this video, you're going to know the exact moment an avoidant realizes she lost the right one, the 7 specific shifts in you that trigger that realization, what's actually happening inside her mind when it hits, and why, by the time she feels it, it's already far too late. Let's get into it. The reframe. Most guys believe the avoidant realizes she lost you the moment she sees you with another woman, or the moment you finally stop texting, or the moment she hears you're doing better than ever. They think it's some big, dramatic, cinematic scene, a chance encounter at a bar, a photo on Instagram, a friend telling her you've moved on. But here's the real truth. The avoidant doesn't realize she lost you in a moment of drama. She realizes it in a moment of silence. See, an avoidant woman's entire nervous system is built around one core skill: managing distance. When you chase, she retreats. When you beg, she feels powerful. When you explode, she feels justified for pulling away. Every reaction you give her is fuel for the story she tells herself. See, he's too much. I was right to keep my walls up. But silence, real silence, the grounded, peaceful, I'm not thinking about you anymore kind of silence, that's the one thing her defense system has no answer for. Because here's what changes everything. The avoidant's deepest fear isn't being chased, it's being forgotten. Her whole identity is wrapped around being the one who pulls away first, the one who's harder to reach, the one who can't be fully had. The moment she realizes that you're not pulling, you're not waiting, you're not even thinking about her, her entire framework collapses. Her gut starts whispering things her ego can't shut down. Wait, is he actually gone? Why isn't he reacting like he used to? Why does he feel further away than when we were apart? That's the moment, man. Not when she sees you, not when she hears about you, when she finally feels your absence and realizes it's permanent. 1. The moment you stop explaining yourself. Most guys, when an avoidant pulls away, immediately go into explanation mode. They send the long text. They break down their feelings. They try to make her understand. They think if they can just articulate it perfectly, she'll finally get it. Here's the part nobody talks about. Every explanation you give her is a withdrawal from your power bank. And avoidants are wired to lose interest the second you start over-explaining. Her brain doesn't process your paragraph as vulnerability. Her brain processes it as pressure, as pursuit, as proof that she's still in control of the dynamic. And the more you explain, the more she emotionally checks out. Because she's not reading your words, she's reading your energy. And your energy is saying, please understand me. Please don't leave. Not anger, not coldness, not the dramatic I'm done speech, but a quiet, grounded refusal to keep auditioning for someone who already saw the show. Wrong approach. I just want to explain where I was coming from. I really feel like you misunderstood me. Right approach. Silence. Or one short line. I've said what I needed to say. The rest is up to you. And when you do that, her brain says something she'll never admit out loud. He's not chasing the explanation anymore. He really doesn't need me to understand him. That's the first crack in her wall. 2. The moment your life gets good without her. This is the one most guys completely miss. They think the way to make an avoidant regret losing them is to post the gym selfie or show her you're thriving. So they perform their happiness. They stage their life. They make sure every story, every post, every photo screams, "Look how good I'm doing without you." But she sees right through it, bro. Every single time. Here's the deeper truth. An avoidant can spot performed healing from a mile away. She knows what your real energy looks like, and when your moving on feels manufactured, it actually reinforces her belief that she made the right call leaving. Performed thriving feels like proof you're still thinking about her. Real thriving feels like proof you forgot. And this is where it gets interesting. When she hears through a mutual friend that you've been spending weekends with your boys, that you're hitting the gym not to spite her, but because you genuinely love who you're becoming, that you're laughing again, sleeping well, eating well, building something real, and there's no caption, no post, no message attached, that's when something shifts in her. Not loud success, not flashy success, not look at me success, but quiet, undeniable, I'm actually happy now success. Wrong approach. Posting the steak dinner with a vague caption hoping she sees it. Right approach, actually enjoying the steak dinner with people who love you and not thinking about her once. And the moment a mutual friend mentions you in passing and says, "Honestly, he seems really happy lately," her gut drops. Her brain says, "He's not just pretending, he's actually fine without me." That's emotional gravity, man, and she can't escape it. 3. The moment she realizes you've stopped romanticizing her. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most guys, even months after the avoidant pulls away, are still secretly romanticizing her in their head, still thinking she was the one, still replaying the good moments, still telling themselves a story about how special she was, how rare the connection was, how nobody else could ever compare. And avoidance can feel this, bro. Even through silence, even through distance, her ego is fed by knowing she still occupies prime real estate in your mind. But here's what changes everything. The moment you stop romanticizing her, the moment you look back at the relationship with clear eyes and finally see the manipulation, the inconsistency, the emotional unavailability, the way she made you carry the weight of her avoidance, something shifts in your energy that she feels from across the city. Her gut starts whispering, "Why does he feel different now, like he's not haunted by me anymore?" You don't have to tell her. You don't have to post about it. You don't have to send the closure message. She'll feel it the next time she runs into you at a friend's birthday and notices that you don't get nervous around her anymore, that your eyes don't search hers, that your body language is calm, settled, indifferent in a way that isn't performed. Wrong internal narrative. She was the love of my life, nobody will ever compare. Right internal narrative. She was a chapter I needed to live through to become who I'm becoming. The next woman is going to meet a completely different man. And in that moment, her brain says something terrifying for her. He's not building a shrine to me in his head anymore. I'm just someone he used to know. That's the shift that turns regret into obsession. 4. The moment she tests you and you don't flinch. Avoidants almost always test you before they truly accept they've lost you. It's not always conscious. Sometimes it's a, "Hey, just thinking about you" text out of nowhere. Sometimes it's a story she posts specifically knowing you'll see it. Sometimes it's reaching out about something small, a borrowed book, a song that reminded her of you, a question that doesn't really need answering. Most guys completely fail this test. They get the message, their heart jumps, and they respond within minutes. Warm, eager, hopeful. And the moment they do, her interest dies on the spot. Here's why. The test wasn't really a reconnection attempt. The test was her checking if you're still emotionally accessible. If you respond fast, you fail. If you respond warm, you fail. If you respond at all in the way you used to, you fail. Because what she's secretly checking for is whether the version of you she could always come back to still exists. And here's the part that matters. The new you doesn't punish her by ignoring her. He doesn't play games. He just genuinely doesn't have the same emotional charge anymore. Wrong response. Replying within 10 minutes with, "Hey, I was actually just thinking about you too." Right response. Replying 8 hours later. Short, warm, but neutral. "Hey, hope you're well." No question back. No invitation to continue. No emotional door propped open. That's when she puts her phone down and feels something she's never felt around you before. Uncertainty. real uncertainty, the kind that doesn't go away with a clever text. Her brain says, he's not waiting for me anymore. The door isn't open the way it used to be. That's emotional caffeine for her brain, and she'll be up all night with it. 5. The moment she hears you've met someone and you're calm about it. This is the one that breaks them, man. Not because you've met someone, but because of how you talk about it. Most guys, when they start dating again after an avoidant, do one of two things wrong. Either they over-broadcast it, trying to make sure she finds out and feels jealous, or they hide it, secretly hoping the avoidant comes back before they have to choose. Both of these signal one thing to her: you're still emotionally tied. But here's where it gets interesting. When she finds out from a third party, not from your social media, not from a strategic post, not from a mutual friend you planted the info with, but from a casual conversation where someone mentions, yeah, he's been seeing someone, she seems really cool, he's really into her, and you're not flexing, you're not bragging, you're just genuinely happy, that's the moment her entire reality cracks. Not jealousy, not envy, not I want him back, but something far worse. The crushing, sinking realization that you're capable of loving someone else with the same depth you once loved her, and she squandered it. Wrong approach. Posting the photo with her face cropped out so your ex sees it. Right approach, actually being present with the new woman, building something real, and letting word travel naturally without any input from you. And here's the thing. When an avoidant hears that you're not just dating, but actually opening up to someone new, her brain says the line that haunts her for months. He found someone who can receive what I couldn't. That was always available to me. And I let it go. That's the moment, bro. That's the exact moment. 6. The moment you become the story she tells her therapist. You won't see this one. You won't ever be in the room for it. But it happens, and it's where the real shift lives. Most guys never realize that the avoidant who pulled away from them ends up bringing them up in therapy months, sometimes years, later. Not the toxic ex she rants about, not the situationship she laughs about. You, the one who was steady, the one who showed up, the one she pushed away when he was offering something real. Here's the deeper truth. Avoidants spend years cycling through partners who match their dysfunction, partners who confirm their belief that love is too much pressure, or men can't really show up. But eventually, when she finally sits across from a therapist and starts unpacking her patterns, she has to confront the data. And the data always points back to one person, the one who broke the pattern, the one who actually showed up consistently, the one she ran from anyway, not the dramatic ex, not the toxic one, not the situationship, but the calm, grounded, genuine man whose only flaw was wanting to love her fully. You become the case study, the pattern interrupt, the proof that her avoidance cost her something real, and her therapist gently asks the question that ruins her sleep for weeks. What would your life look like if you hadn't pushed him away? That's when it hits her in the deepest, most undeniable way. The version of her life that could have existed with you isn't a fantasy anymore. It's a measurable loss, and there's no fixing it, because the man she pushed away isn't the same man anymore. He's becoming someone new, someone she can't even reach. Her brain quietly admits, he was the right one, and I wasn't ready for him. That's the kind of realization that doesn't fade, that lives in her bones. 7. The moment you stop caring if she ever realizes it. Here's where everything comes full circle, bro. The deepest level, the final shift. Most guys watch a video like this hoping to engineer the moment she realizes she lost them. They want the strategy. They want the timeline. They want the satisfaction of knowing she's lying in bed somewhere thinking about them. And as long as you're chasing that, even silently, even from a distance, you're still tied to her. But here's what changes everything. The exact moment an avoidant truly realizes she lost the right one forever is the exact moment you stop caring whether she ever realizes it. This isn't a trick. This isn't reverse psychology. This isn't act like you don't care so she'll come back energy. This is the real, lived, embodied state of a man who has fully reclaimed his life and his peace and his future, and genuinely no longer needs her recognition to validate his worth. Because here's the secret nobody tells you. Her realization doesn't change anything for you, even if she calls, even if she cries, even if she sends the paragraph admitting everything you knew all along. It doesn't restore what she broke. It doesn't refund the months you spent waiting. It doesn't make her capable of meeting you at the level you've now risen to. Wrong identity. I just want her to know what she lost. Right identity. I'm too busy becoming the man my future deserves to need her acknowledgement of who I already am. And the wildest part? That's the exact energy she feels through the universe. That's the energy that makes her bolt upright at 3 a.m. with the sinking weight of what she lets slip through her fingers. Not because you're trying to make her feel it, but because you've genuinely transcended the need for her to feel it at all. Her gut says the words she'll never say out loud. He doesn't need me to know. He's already gone. And that man is the moment. That's the real one. That's when it lands so deep she can't outrun it. The close. So listen carefully. This isn't about winning. It's not about revenge. It's not about engineering a moment where she finally suffers the way you suffered. Because if that's still the goal, she still owns a piece of you. And a piece of you is too much to give to someone who couldn't hold the whole thing. You're not becoming the man who makes her regret losing him. You're becoming the man who genuinely doesn't think about her enough to care whether she regrets it. And those two things look identical from the outside, but they feel completely different from the inside. The avoidant doesn't lose you when you walk away. She loses you the moment you stop coming back in your own mind. Remember this, she didn't lose you when you left. She lost you the moment you became someone she could no longer reach, even if she tried. And if this hit you somewhere deep, if you felt every word land in a place you've been carrying for months, the next video you need to watch is the one on what actually happens inside an avoidant woman's mind in the weeks and months after she realizes she lost you. Because understanding the moment is step one. Understanding the long, quiet, unbearable aftermath she lives in afterward. That's where the full picture finally comes together. I'll see you there. The script above is fully cleaned, voiceover ready, and formatted in plain copy-paste style. No markdown clutter inside the spoken lines, no stage directions, no formatting symbols. You can drop it straight into 11 Labs, Speechelo, 11 Studios, Murph, or any AI voice generator, and it'll flow naturally without edits. Estimated runtime at natural pacing, approximately 14 to 16 minutes. Perfect for YouTube, mid-roll ad placement, and maximum watch time. If you want, I can also do any of the following next. Tighten it to a specific runtime. 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. Convert it into an SRT subtitle file. Generate the actual AI voiceover in a deep, calm male voice. Write 10 high CTR title variants, SEO description, tags, and thumbnail text. Write the next video in the series, the weeks and months after she realizes follow-up. Just tell me which direction you want to go.